You know how tricky it gets when you build tooltips, dropdowns, or pop-ups. They never say exactly where you want. You usually end up writing JavaScript just to make them follow an element. But now CSS gives us a built-in way to fix this. It's called position anchor, and it lets you attach an element directly to another one, which is CSS. So what exactly is position anchor? Think of it this way. Normally when you use position absolute, the element positions itself inside its nearest position parent. But with position anchor, you can tell it, hey, don't just stick to the parent, stick to this specific element instead. The way it works is with something called anchor name. You give one element a name like this. Now another element, let's say a tooltip, can use that anchor when it's positioned. That's it. The tooltip will now follow the button as its anchor. The values are pretty simple. Auto means default, works like normal positioning. A named anchor like my button attaches to that anchor element. And of course, the global values like inherit or initial. So instead of hacking things with JavaScript, you are just telling CSS attach here. Alright, let's see how anchor setup actually works. First, you pick an element and give it a name with anchor name. This marks it as an anchor. Then another element can attach to it using position anchor. Here's a simple example with a button and a tooltip. Let's walk through it quickly. The button gets an anchor name of -- my button. That's like giving it an ID, but for anchoring, the tooltip says position anchor -- my button. That tells CSS follow that button. Then we use the anchor function. Anchor bottom means place it at the button's bottom edge, and anchor center lines it up horizontally. So now, no matter where the button moves, the tooltip follows it perfectly. And we didn't write a single line of JavaScript. Now let's see where this is actually useful. Normally, if you want a little number label above the slider thumb, with CSS anchors, you just set the thumb as an anchor. No extra code. Another big use is popovers and dropdowns. Think about a menu button. You open it and the dropdown should stay connected even if the page scrolls or resizes. Anchors make that super simple because the dropdown is literally tied to that button. You can also use it for info boxes or tooltips. For example, on product cards, you might show a small pop-up when hovering, and it stays perfectly aligned no matter how the layout shifts. One more pattern is badges or labels that move with their items. Imagine a card with a new tag in the corner. If that card gets repositioned in a grid, the badge will stay locked exactly where it belongs. So overall, anywhere you would normally reach for JavaScript just to keep one element attached to another, CSS position anchor can replace all that with just a couple of lines. Now, before you start using this everywhere, let's talk about browser support. Right now, position anchor is still pretty new. It's not baseline yet, which means not every browser has it by default. According to MDN, support is marked as limited availability, so you will need to double check which browsers your users are on before relying on it. Another thing, if your anchor element is hidden or removed, the position element can't stay attached, so it falls back to normal positioning. That's expected behavior, but it's something to keep in mind. The safe way is to use a feature query. For example, this way browsers that don't support anchors will just ignore it and your layout still works with your fallback styles. Now let's wrap this up with some pro tips to use position anchor the right way. First, always give your anchors clear names. Something like -- tooltip anchor is way easier to understand later than just --a or --x. Second, you can combine anchors with other properties like position area or the anchor function. This gives you super flexible layouts while still staying in pure CSS. Third, always plan fallbacks. Since not all browsers support anchors yet, make sure your design still works even if the anchor feature is ignored. And lastly, don't go overboard. Too many anchored overlays in a complex UI can get messy fast. Keep it simple and use it where it really improves the user experience. If you want me to make a detailed tutorial on position anchor, let me know in the comments.